Donald Trump transition is now focused on Homeland Security, moving quickly today to name the new CIA director, national security advisor, and nominee for Attorney General.
All three are staunch conservatives and fierce critics of President Obama, and all three are drawing fierce criticism from Democrats. Yeah, KCAL 9 political reporter Bryan joins us now with that announcement and the reaction as well.
The reaction has been an uproar, and it seems more like we're back in the campaign again, with both sides attacking one another. Two of President-elect Trump's choices have sparked the most controversy tonight. Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions for Attorney General and retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn for National Security Advisor. Two of the most important positions in the new administration.
The next president of the United States, right here.
Retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, once a registered Democrat, will now be President Donald Trump's closest advisor on all issues of national security. But many of his views are way out of line with longstanding U.S. policy from both parties, including his belief that Islam itself, not the radical terrorist version of it, is a threat to America and the world. Like this tweet he sent out during the presidential campaign: "Fear of Muslims is rational." And in his speeches as well, calling Islam a cancer and a political ideology pretending to be a religion.
Islam is a political ideology. It is a political ideology. It definitely hides behind this notion of it being a religion.
Hassan Khan is one of the leaders of the Islamic Center of Northridge. He told me Flynn's appointment is raising the level of fear and mistrust of government in the Muslim community.
After going through what we've been through after 9/11, that fear is coming back, that we're being targeted again. Michael Flynn is more of a, as far as we know, it's more anti-Islamic than anti-anything else. If he's biased coming into that job, he's going to miss out on the real criminal elements, and he's targeting, he's putting his resources into areas where there's no threat.
And Flynn, who was reportedly forced out of the Defense Department in 2014, has strong disagreements with U.S. policy about which countries are U.S. allies and which are enemies, like Saudi Arabia, which he says is a danger, and Russia and Vladimir Putin, he says, could be U.S. friends, despite meddling in the U.S. election, invading Ukraine, and atrocities in Syria, a view that contradicts U.S. intelligence and high-ranking defense officials from both parties.
His views on Russia ought to concern us all. Like the president-elect, he's been an apologist for the Kremlin.
But John Fleischman, the founder and publisher of FlashReport.org and political editor of Breitbart, California, says Flynn is exactly the kind of advisor Trump wants because he thinks outside the establishment box.
I think a lot of the frustration and frustrated people that put Donald Trump in office are expecting action to come out of Washington, D.C. And you don't get action out of Washington, D.C. by putting people into key positions that are not going to really drive home his agenda.
Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions was the first senator to endorse Donald Trump, and now he's the nominee to be the next Attorney General of the United States.
This is a movement. Look at what's happening.
Sessions has served in the Senate for 20 years and is considered a hardliner on immigration. He voted against the 2009 hate crimes bill and against reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act. But the real controversy is over Sessions' 1986 nomination to be a federal judge, which failed when a witness at his confirmation hearing testified that Sessions said he thought the Ku Klux Klan was okay until he learned they smoked marijuana. And an African-American U.S. attorney who had worked for Sessions testified that Sessions regularly called him boy. Sessions denied the comments and also that he had accused groups like the NAACP of being un-American and communist-inspired.
I am not a racist. I am not insensitive to blacks. I have supported civil rights activity in my state.
Democrats were just as critical of Senator Sessions today, the Congressional Black Caucus calling his civil rights record appalling. Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez released a statement saying, "If you have nostalgia for the days when blacks were kept quiet and gays were in the closet, then Senator Sessions is your man." And California Senator-elect Kamala Harris, who referred to Sessions by his given name, Jefferson Beauregard Sessions, released a statement saying, "I have deep concerns about Senator Sessions' nomination. I am concerned with his views that are incompatible with constitutional guarantees." If confirmed, Sessions would become the chief law enforcement official in the United States at a time when the relationship between law enforcement and communities of color is front and center.
Everyone needs to be held to account, and just because you're a sitting senator going before those who are your brothers and sisters in the same body doesn't mean you're entitled to just walk into a position that is, frankly, one of the most powerful positions in this country.
I'd say they don't know Senator Sessions that well. They haven't been around him, they haven't worked with him. He's a fine guy, never said anything inappropriate, and to chase something that's 30 years old, I think it's inappropriate.
Now this evening, I spoke with Hassan Khan, who appeared in our report you just saw. He told me his wife and daughter, who were wearing scarves, were followed by a man as they drove to a hardware store this evening. In the parking lot, he says his wife and daughter fled into the safety of the store. The man who followed them then smashed out the windows of their car and stole some of his wife's school materials. She is a Muslim and a teacher. The FBI has been notified about a possible hate crime, Lena.